KTHN College, Department of Political Science. Myself Chandanshive Vasudha welcome you all for the credit-based subject Introduction to Constitution. So in the previous lecture we have seen the second fundamental right, that is right to freedom. Now in this lecture we are going to study the third right, that is right against exploitation. So we will start our lecture. The second unit, fundamental rights. In that we have done with the right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion. We will study in next lecture. Cultural and educational rights, right to property, and right to constitutional remedies. The article 23 and 24 consist of the right against exploitation. So we will see the first article, prohibition of traffic in human being and forced labor, which is in article 23. So the article 23 prohibits traffic in human beings, the forced labor, and we say bigar, we say bigar to them, and other similar form of forced labor. And contravention of this provision shall be an offence punishable in accordance with law. This right is available to both citizen and non-citizen. So this right is for citizen and non-citizen also. The right against exploitation in that prohibition of traffic in human being and forced labor. So it protects the individual not only against the state but also against private person. So the expression traffic in human being include means what is that? What it includes, that is selling and buying of men, women, and children like goods, immoral traffic in women and children, including prostitution, devdasis, and slaveries. So to punish this acts, the Parliament has made the Immoral Traffic Prevention Act in 1956. So the term bigar means compulsory work without remuneration. It was a peculiar Indian system under which the local zamindars sometimes used to force their tenants to render service without any payment. In addition to bigar, the Article 23 prohibits other similar form of forced labor like bonded labor. The term forced labor means compelling a person to work against his will. The word force includes not only physical or legal force but also force arising from for the compulsion of economic circumstances, that is working for less than the minimum wage. In this regard, the Bonded Labor System Abolition Act 1976 is made. The Minimum Wages Act 1984, no, 1948. The Contract Labor Act, as we know, 1970, and the Equal Remuneration Act 1976 were made. Article 23 also provide for an exception to this provision. It permits the state to impose compulsory service for public purpose, as for example military service or social service, for which it is not bound to pay. However, in imposing such service, the state is not permitted to make any discrimination on ground only of religion, caste, race, class, or gender, or place of birth. So this is Article 23. After that, the Article 24 is prohibition of employment of children in factories and etc. where they work. So Article 24 prohibits the employment of children below the age of 14 years in factory, mine or other hazardous activities like construction work or railway, but it does not prohibit their employment in any harmless or innocent work. So, the Child Labor Act means Prohibition and Regulation Act 1986 is the most important law in this direction, the Child Labor Act. After that, in addition, the Employment of Children Act 1938, the Factories Act 1948, the Mines Act 1952, the Merchant Shipping Act 1958, the Plantation Labor Act 1951, the Motor Transport Workers Act 1951, Apprentice Act 1961, the BD Cigarette Workers Act 1966, and other similar acts prohibit the employment of children below certain age. So now in 1996, the Supreme Court declared the establishment of Child Labor Rehabilitation Welfare Fund, in which the offending employer should deposit a fine of rupees 20,000 for each child employed by him. He also issued direction for the improvement of education, health, and nutrition of the child. The Commissions for Protection of Children Child Rights Act 2005 was enacted to provide for the establishment of a national commission and state commission for protection of child rights and children's court for providing speedy trial of offences against children or of violation of child rights. Now, after 2005, in 2006, the government banned the employment of children as domestic servant or worker in business establishment like hotels, dhabas, restaurants, shop, factories, resorts, tea shop, and so on. It warned that anyone employing children below 14 years of age would be liable for prosecutions and penal action. So this is Article 23 and 24, which is very important, uh, which is right against exploitation. Exploitation. Thank you, all of you.